So I met Chris at church. I mean, I didn't go to church, I was just outside. He was just standing there, really straight and tall, so confident, conventionally handsome. He has like the vibe of a backyard barbecue dad from the 90s. He seems really stable and reliable. That's what I like about him, kind of like a trad man. He really got my attention and just spoke really loudly, actually, and complimented my sundress. And I just remember it was like such a sunny, pleasant day, and there was like children laughing and families jabbering about. It looked straight at me, and I just thought, damn, if I was in the 50s, I could potentially want to marry this guy. So he asked me out for dinner that Friday night, very traditional, offered to pick me up, but I thought that was a bit much, so I said I'd just meet him there, and he understood my need for privacy and safety. We went to a fancy gastropub, good old-fashioned pub meals, but done well. So many options. You'll have the steak, medium rare, and then a sticky date pudding. I think that will follow quite nicely. I've already looked at all the detail. So, what do you do? I'm a foreman at a construction site. I like buildings that last, like legacy. It's my Roman Empire. Oh, have you been to Rome? No, I don't really care about travel. I'm proud of this country that we live in and the freedoms we've got here. After all, it's what our rank and file men fought for. I don't think we really should care about what the other countries are up to. Okay, the freedoms we fought for, so which freedoms? Well, at least from the stranglehold by the CMFE.
You've had the CFMEU and others who have choked supply, so stopped houses from being built.
We need more freedoms, like religious freedoms, respect for Christian worship and values, and free speech. That isn't crazy woke talk. So I assume you're into guns? Yep, a lot of my mates are rural. I heard recently about introducing a castle law. I like the sound of that, and that's something we'll need. We need more of our land to be Australian-owned and protected, products to be Australian-made. Yes, big on industry. So what do you think of AI? I think if we can use it to make things more efficient and work better, fair go. If you can use it for that, it's just good common sense. Less time spent doing busy work, more money in my pocket. So speaking of making things more efficient, do you think we could use AI to support better democracy? Pfft, democracy, it's BS. We have too many parties. But yes, it would fix up all the time wasted on politics. Yeah, it's tricky. Have you heard about AI and its impact on climate? What do you mean by climate? We don't really need this scaremongering to stop our productivity and industry. We need to have a strong economy. But I think it's good to build other energy sources, like nuclear. Renewables? Fuck off with that. Plus there's better money in mining uranium. This might sound random, but what do you think about trans rights? Ugh, degenerates. What? Look, men should be men, women should be women. That's how it's always been. I bring in the money, and the woman does all the unpaid housework. This world is built on families. We got to bring the values back. Put family first. The only way I can accept trans people is if they become more traditional than if they just turned out to be a fag. What do you mean? If gay conversion therapy convinces a gay man to turn to a trans woman who likes men, that's probably more acceptable to me. Ooh, I get the feeling you're kind of angry. What's up with that? 'Cause I was promised to have everything.
The dream was to buy a home, and for young Australians today, they've lost that dream.
A house, a wife, a family. I wanted to have so many kids, a job that pays well, but it's all the fault of all these fucking...
The last 2 years, the government's brought in 1 million people, all of whom want homes, and all of whom are competing against young Australians for that rental property or to purchase a home.
Peter's suggestion that this has been a problem that's developed in the last 2 years is a nonsense. And everyone watching this program knows that this has been developing for a long period of time.
Taking all these opportunities from me. It's time to take it back, and they should go back to where they came from. So that's the government's job, to take care of Australians by making sure there are more houses to buy, making them cheaper to afford.
Mr Dutton, do you have any problem with investors using tax breaks to buy multiple properties, 4, 5, 6 properties?
Well,
Is there anything wrong with that?
Let me come to that.
Neither of you seem willing to touch the negative gearing or capital gains tax breaks at this election. You've both been property investors over the years. Can you understand younger Australians locked out of the market, feeling that it is people like you who are to blame for the fact the system's rigged against them?
And so every man and woman has the chance to build a strong family, to build one nation of Australians who stay put and work hard. Blow the trumpets for the patriots here. We're not meant to still be living with our parents at our age. You know what you said about immigrants? I'm not That's okay. You don't have to be white to marry a proud white man. And I can see you'll make a good wife who knows how to listen and take care of her man and take care of our children. Okay, so you think to make housing affordable we should deport immigrants and ban foreign owners? Yep, you read my mind. And make more houses.
We reduce migration by 25% so that we can allow the housing stock to be built up again. And by doing that, as well as stopping foreigners for 2 years from purchasing Australian homes, we give young Australians a go.
What about property investors who own multiple homes and don't live in them or rent them out? Look, I don't want to spend any time on it attacking mum and dad investors who have a few investment properties for a nest egg.
I think a lot of people suffer the illusion that every person that owns an investment property is a capitalist and owns 20 or 30 houses, when the reality is most rental properties in this state are owned by mum-dad investors that have got one additional house as their nest egg for retirement. And they'd like to see that receive, not necessarily exponential growth, but receive some growth over the course of the life of that rental property. And now they're being priced out of the market to the point where it's no longer a viable asset. So they're offloading them, which, in one instance, I guess you could say it's working. It's putting more properties out there, but they're not necessarily being purchased, to be then made into rentals again. So, look, I think there's a lot more work that needs to be done in this space.
We need to build more houses, bring prices down so others can have their hard-earned money put to good use. Blow the trumpets for keeping interest rates at 3%. Wasn't the GFC in 2008 triggered by giving away low interest rate home loans that people didn't end up paying off? Like, if you want to build more houses, that's really going to benefit property developers more than buyers, which suits the Liberals and the Nats because they're the ones getting donations from them. Are they? The Liberal Party ain't looking so bad these days. So, anyway, the next date he suggested we go visit his family in the country. He told me to wear a dress and a cardigan, and he wants me to quit my job and stop asking him stupid questions. Ouch.